Here is part 3, continuing the speech with a stronger call to action and emotional closing. Baltimore, you are not dead yet. Part 3. Now I want to talk about the moment after this moment, because inspiration is powerful, but inspiration fades if you do not attach it to action. You can hear a speech tonight and feel fire in your chest. You can cry, you can clap, you can stand up, you can say, "That touched me." But when the lights go out, when the chairs fold up, when the crowd leaves, when the street air hits your face, when your phone buzzes, when somebody says, "Where you at?" when the old route pulls at your feet, that is when the real speech begins. Not the one I am giving, the one your life is giving, the one your body is giving, the one your future is giving, the one your children's tears are giving, the one the graves of your friends are giving, the one the ambulance sirens are giving, the one every empty chair at every family table is giving. The question is simple. What are you going to do when the old life calls your name? Because it will. Do not think because you made one decision tonight that the streets will politely leave you alone. The streets will call, the addiction will call, the craving will call, the loneliness will call, the shame will call, the old friends will call, the dealer will call, the memory will call, the pain will call. But you do not have to answer every call. Some calls are traps. Some calls are graves speaking early. Some calls are your past trying to drag you back into a place you barely escaped. So when that phone rings, when that thought rises, when that block looks familiar, when your body says just one more, I want you to remember this room. Remember this night. Remember your own breath. Remember that somewhere inside you, even if it is small, even if it is weak, even if it is shaking, there is a voice that said, I want to live. That voice is sacred. Protect it. Feed it. Listen to it. That voice is the beginning of your recovery. Not the loud voice of addiction, not the loud voice of shame, not the loud voice of the streets, the quiet voice underneath it all. The voice that says, I am tired. The voice that says, help me. The voice that says, I cannot keep doing this. The voice that says, I want to go home. The voice that says, I want to see my children. The voice that says, I want to sleep clean. The voice that says, I do not want my mother to bury me. That voice is not weakness. That voice is God knocking on the door of your survival. Open the door. Now, some of you are afraid of treatment because you have heard stories. Some of you are afraid of detox because you know withdrawal is real. Some of you are afraid of meetings because you do not want to talk. Some of you are afraid of counselors because you do not want anybody in your business. Some of you are afraid of recovery houses because you do not want rules. Some of you are afraid of medication because you have heard people judge it. Some of you are afraid of being sober because the last time you were sober, you had to feel everything. I understand. But let me tell you something. Fear is not a stop sign. Fear is a doorbell. It tells you there is something on the other side that matters. You can be scared and still walk in. You can be embarrassed and still ask for help. You can be sick and still say, take me. You can be shaking and still sign your name. You can be angry and still sit in the chair. You can be doubtful and still begin. Recovery does not require you to feel brave. Recovery requires you to move while fear is talking. And sometimes, the bravest thing you will ever say is not a speech. It is one sentence. I need help. Say that and doors can open. Say that and somebody can call. Say that and a bed may be found. Say that and a ride may be arranged. Say that and a plan can begin. Say that, and the lie of isolation starts to break. Now, I want to say this with love, but I want to say it straight. You cannot recover while protecting the thing that is killing you. You cannot keep the number. You cannot keep the secret stash. You cannot keep the one person who always knows where to get it. You cannot keep telling yourself you will only go over there to talk. You cannot keep saying, "That is my friend," when every time you see them, your life gets darker. You cannot keep walking into the same fire and then wonder why you smell like smoke. Some people are not your friends. They are your triggers wearing familiar faces. Some places are not your neighborhood anymore. They are battlefields. Some routines are not harmless. They are invitations back to bondage. You have to get honest about what pulls you under. And once you know what pulls you under, stop tying yourself to it. Cut the rope, block the number, cross the street, change the pattern. Tell somebody your weak spots. Tell somebody where you are most likely to fall. Tell somebody, "If I say I'm going over there, stop me." Tell somebody, "If I disappear, come find me." Tell somebody, "If I sound different on the phone, do not believe my lies." That is not childish. That is survival. A person who cannot swim does not jump into deep water to prove a point. They grab a hand. Grab the hand. Now to the person who says, "I do not have anybody." I hear you. Maybe your family is tired. Maybe your friends are using too. Maybe everybody you trusted is gone. Maybe you burned bridges. Maybe you are sitting in a room full of people and still feel completely alone. But listen to me. You only need one starting point, one outreach worker, one counselor, one sponsor, one peer, one hotline, one recovery group, one honest conversation, one person who says, "Come on, I know the way." Your new life does not need a crowd to begin. It needs a connection. Find one. And once you find one, hold on. Not with pride, with honesty. Tell them the truth. I am craving. I am lying. I am thinking about using. I am scared. I am angry. I am about to go back. I need somebody to talk me through this. People cannot help the version of you that keeps pretending. They can only help the version of you that tells the truth. So tell the truth before the ambulance has to. Tell the truth before the jail has to. Tell the truth before your children have to. Tell the truth before your body collapses. Tell the truth while you still have breath to tell it. Now, Baltimore, I want to talk about dignity. Because addiction has a way of stripping people down. It can make you feel like you are nothing but a need for money, a need for dope, a need for a ride, a need for a place to sleep, a need for help, a need for forgiveness, a need for somebody to believe you again. And when you live too long in need, you can forget that you still have dignity. But you do. Even if your clothes are dirty, you have dignity. Even if your hands are shaking, you have dignity. Even if you slept outside, you have dignity. Even if you relapsed this morning, you have dignity. Even if people roll their eyes when you walk in, you have dignity. Even if your family does not answer the phone, you have dignity. Even if your record is long, you have dignity. Even if your past is ugly, you have dignity. Dignity is not something addiction can erase. Dignity is something recovery helps you remember. You are still human. You are still worthy of help. You are still worthy of medical care. You are still worthy of clean sheets. You are still worthy of a hot meal. You are still worthy of being called by your name. You are still worthy of being spoken to with respect. You are still worthy of another chance. And if nobody has treated you like that in a long time, let tonight be the night you start treating yourself like that. Stop calling yourself trash. Stop calling yourself hopeless. Stop saying, I ain't nothing. Stop making your mouth agree with the addiction. Your words matter. Speak life over yourself, even if it feels strange. Say, I am still here. I am worth saving. I can recover. I need help, and I deserve help. My life is not over. My past is not my prison. My body can heal. My mind can clear. My spirit can rise. Say it until your own ears start to believe it. Now let us talk about the people you lost, because I know they are in this room too, not physically, but they are here. The ones whose names still hurt, the ones whose birthdays still come, the ones whose pictures are still in your phone, the ones you were with the last time, the ones you wish you had called, the ones you wish you had saved, the ones you still dream about, the ones who overdosed, the ones who were murdered, the ones who disappeared, the ones who went to jail and came home different, the ones who never made it home. Baltimore carries ghosts. Every block has memory. Every family has a name they cannot say without pausing. And some of you are using because grief is eating you alive. But hear me, you do not honor the dead by joining them early. You do not honor your lost friends by dying the same way. You do not honor your mother by making her fear the next phone call. You do not honor your children by giving them another empty chair. The best way to honor the people you lost is to live. Live clean. Live honest. Live in recovery. Live long enough to say their names with a clear mind. Live long enough to help somebody else avoid the same grave. Live long enough to turn pain into purpose. Live long enough to become the reason another family does not have to bury somebody. That is how you honor them, not by sinking, by rising. Now I want to speak to the one who is secretly planning to use after this. Yes, you. You already know where you are going. You already know who you are going to call. You already know the shortcut. You already told yourself, after tonight, I'll get help tomorrow. But tomorrow is not promised, and you know that. You have seen people die between tonight and tomorrow. You have seen people laugh at 8p.m. and be gone by midnight. You have seen people say, I'll be back, and never come back. So do not gamble with tomorrow. Do not shake hands with death and call it relief. Do not let this speech become the last warning you ignored. I am not saying that to scare you. I am saying it because I love you enough to tell the truth. That bag is not your friend. That pill is not your peace. That pipe is not your comfort. That needle is not your answer. That corner is not your home. Your home is life. Your home is breath. Your home is recovery. Your home is the version of you that has been buried but not destroyed. Come home. Now some of you might be thinking, but I failed before. Good. That means you have experience. You learned something. You learned what did not work. You learned what happens when you stop calling. You learned what happens when you go around certain people. You learned what happens when you hide cravings. You learned what happens when you think you can do it alone. Now use what you learned. Failure does not have to be final. Failure can be a teacher, but only if you stop letting it be your identity. You are not a failure. You are a person who needs a stronger plan, a person who needs support, a person who needs healing, a person who needs safety, a person who needs recovery that fits the truth of your life. So build again, start again, walk in again, call again, ask again, try again, and if you fall again, get up again. But do not lay down in the fall and call it destiny. It is not destiny. It is a moment, and moments can change. Now I want you to understand what recovery will give you back, not all at once, but piece by piece. Recovery will give you back mornings where you wake up and do not have to chase anything. Recovery will give you back food that tastes like something. Recovery will give you back sleep, real sleep, not passing out, not nodding, sleep. Recovery will give you back memory. You will remember conversations. You will remember promises. You will remember birthdays. You will remember who you are. Recovery will give you back your face. Your eyes will come back. Your skin will come back. Your smile will come back. People will look at you and say, "You look different." And you will say, "I am different." Recovery will give you back time. Time with your children. Time with your family. Time with yourself. Time that addiction used to steal before the day even began. Recovery will give you back choice, and choice is powerful because addiction makes your world small. One craving, one mission, one chase, one bag, one lie, one more. But recovery opens the world again. You can choose where to go. You can choose who to call. You can choose what to build. You can choose who to become. That is freedom. And freedom is worth the fight. Now, to every person in here who has ever been called hopeless, I want you to hear me. The word hopeless is a lie told by people who stopped looking for the light. There is hope in detox. There is hope in medication-assisted treatment. There is hope in counseling. There is hope in peer support. There is hope in a meeting. There is hope in a shelter. There is hope in a recovery house. There is hope in a phone call. There is hope in an honest confession. There is hope in a second chance. There is hope in a 10th chance. There is hope in a 100th chance, if that is the one that keeps you alive. Do not let anybody ration hope to you like there is not enough. There is enough hope for you too. Now I want everyone to imagine Baltimore different. Not perfect, different. Imagine fewer memorial shirts. Imagine fewer mothers crying at bus stops. Imagine fewer people slumped over in doorways. Imagine fewer children learning what Narcan is before they learn algebra. Imagine fewer corners eating people alive. Imagine recovery centers full. Imagine outreach workers respected. Imagine people getting help before they hit the bottom. Imagine the man everybody used to laugh at walking into a room clean, employed, smiling, restored. Imagine the woman everybody judged standing up with her children beside her. Imagine the young brother who thought he would die before 30 becoming a mentor. Imagine the grandmother who prayed for years, seeing the answer walk through the door. That Baltimore is possible, but it does not happen from speeches alone. It happens when people move. It happens when somebody says, "I am ready." It happens when somebody says, "Take me now." It happens when somebody says, "I cannot go back to that block." It happens when somebody says, "I need detox tonight." It happens when somebody says, "Please hold my phone. I am about to call the wrong person." It happens when somebody says, "Walk with me." It happens when somebody says, "Do not let me leave alone." So tonight, do not leave alone if alone is dangerous. Do not leave with the same person who brought you to destruction. Do not leave with the same plan that almost killed you. Leave different. Even if the only difference is one phone number in your pocket, leave different. Even if the only difference is one honest sentence, leave different. Even if the only difference is letting somebody know the truth, leave different. That small difference can save your life. Now I want to close this part by speaking directly to your future. Future, I know you are in this room. I know you are waiting on these people. I know you have been standing at the door for years, watching addiction block the entrance. But tonight, future, call their names. Call the names of the people who thought they had no future. Call the names of the ones who have been sleeping outside. Call the names of the ones who have court dates. Call the names of the ones who are sick right now. Call the names of the ones who are ashamed. Call the names of the ones who think nobody cares. Call the names of the ones who almost died. Call the names of the ones who were revived. Call the names of the ones who lost everything. Call them because they are still here. And because they are still here, you still belong to them. Now, to every person listening, your future is not gone. It may be buried. It may be delayed. It may be wounded. It may be waiting behind consequences. It may be waiting behind treatment. It may be waiting behind hard conversations. It may be waiting behind courtrooms. It may be waiting behind apologies. It may be waiting behind tears. But it is not gone. Go get it. Not tomorrow. Tonight, take the first step toward it. And when you feel weak, remember this. You do not have to recover for the rest of your life tonight. You only have to make the next right decision. Then the next. Then the next. 1 hour, one choice, one breath, one call, one ride, one intake, one meeting, one prayer, one truth, one day. That is how chains break, not always with thunder, sometimes with one shaking hand reaching for help. So reach even if you are embarrassed. Reach even if you are dirty. Reach even if you are high. Reach even if you relapsed. Reach even if you smell like the streets. Reach even if your voice cracks. Reach even if you do not know what to say. Just say, help. That word is enough to begin. And if nobody has told you today, let me tell you now. I am glad you are alive. I am glad you made it into this room. I am glad the last overdose did not take you. I am glad the last bad night did not end you. I am glad the last relapse was not the final page. I am glad the grave had to wait. I am glad you are still breathing. And I want you to be glad too, not because life is easy, but because life is still possible. Baltimore, rise. Rise from the corners. Rise from the vacants. Rise from the shame. Rise from the poison. Rise from the grief. Rise from the lie that says you cannot change. Rise from the names they called you. Rise from the nights you regret. Rise from the people who gave up on you. Rise from the version of yourself you no longer want to be. Rise, not because it is easy, because you are worth the fight. Not because the streets will understand, because your life matters more than their opinion. Not because everybody will believe you, because recovery is not built on their belief. It is built on your decision, your support, your honesty, and your willingness to keep going when the old life begs you to come back. Tonight, Baltimore, let the old life beg. Let it call, let it shout, let it knock, but do not open the door. You have opened that door enough. Tonight, open a different door, a door to help, a door to healing, a door to recovery, a door to life. And when you walk through it, walk like somebody who still has a name. Walk like somebody who still has a soul. Walk like somebody who still has a future. Walk like somebody death tried to take but could not keep. Walk like somebody chosen to survive, because you are still here. And if you are still here, recovery is still possible. Thank you. Yai Hai S has been a Sharri Plaza presentation.